Hey my loves, welcome back for another video. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Ashley. I hope you guys are enjoying your holidays. And today, of course, you guys know we're doing a start to finish slay. This one comes courtesy of Dorhair, and they sent over a blonde curly wig. So as always, they included some goodies in the packaging, and this is a close-up of what the wig looks like. Now this one is pretty unique. This one is a 27 in color, it's 180% density, and it's 22 inches in length. And of course, I just showed you guys the inside cap construction. They did send over a medium cap, which fit fine, but I definitely could have used a size small. So step one for me today is going to be to go ahead and co-wash my wig. Now I highly recommend that you always wash or co-wash your wigs. Just generally speaking, I don't feel the need to use soap because it is a brand new wig. Soap meaning shampoo, of course, but I do feel like, you kind of want to disinfect it, run it through the water, see what happens actually to the wig, and of course make sure it's like clean before you put it on your head. And it also like pulls out the curls if there's curls. It always makes the install and the baby hair and everything just looks so good when you wash it first. So this is what the wig looks like on after I went ahead and give it a nice air dry. The curls are absolutely beautiful. Now what I like about a number 27 is if you're gonna dye it using the watercolor method or just the old-fashioned way, this is still gonna give you a nice color, and it's basically a nice base for pretty much any color. But it's even better because when you get a 613 blonde wig, number one, I feel like it's gonna shed a little bit more. Being a darker complexion woman, it's not gonna blend with my skin as much, and just all around I feel like a number 27 is a great start. Now there are obviously specific colors that you may want to do that this may be too dark for as a start, and so forth and so on, but just in generally speaking, a 27, and it also is a funky color in a way, so if it doesn't blend with your skin, obviously that makes a difference. But again, a 27 I feel like is just a little less processed than a blonde, and you can still get similar results as far as dyeing hair goes. So I did go ahead and cut off a good amount of the lace before I went ahead and cut off all of the lace, and this is because my eyebrows are done, and number two, because like if there's lace covering your eyes, you literally cannot see as good as you would if you move it. So just by habit, I always remove all that excess lace when it comes like below my eyebrows, and then I'll go in and cut off all of the rest of the lace. But that's just an extra step. Now this is the way it fits once you cut off the lace without really cutting off too much extra. And as you guys can see, it barely hits my sideburns, which you definitely want to keep some hair from the wig there. Sometimes you guys know I'll cut off a lot of that sideburn area and just make it go behind my ears, but when you have a colored wig, especially as bright as blonde, you definitely want to make sure that your sideburns or your natural hair color is not showing unless you have a dark root, because that's going to be a telltale sign that your wig is not snatched. Boo. So here I am. I just kind of slightly pull back the wig and apply an adhesive. I am using a freeze spray. You guys know the bedhead one is currently my favorite now, but this one definitely has been the OG ride or die and what I've used pretty much since the beginning, and I probably will almost always use this one. And as you guys can see, I'm just kind of using my finger to guide it, because if you spray it on any surface, it's kind of gonna form and like kind of roll down, and you definitely don't want this like rolling down your face. If you have a makeup, it'll obviously ruin your makeup, but even if you don't have makeup, it'll kind of like roll down and dry kind of funky and have this like spray mark on your face, so to speak. Now as you guys can see, I hope you guys are loving it, but lately I've just slowed down all of my tutorials a ton. I do realize that a lot of you are 100% beginners and you don't know what you're doing, so by slowing it down, hopefully you can see and feel in real time that you're getting an idea of what I'm doing. Here I did speed up a little bit, just here and there, but here I'm just blow drying on a cool setting to make sure that it applies. And when you use a blow dryer, you almost feel like the wig gets tighter, like it feels like it's really bonded down and gripping your head really good. Now this is what the wig looks like with a center part. As you guys can see, they did not do a dark root. Now to be honest, the lace is obviously not my color, but I'm not mad at the lace just because I've gotten some super white transparent lace when it comes to blonde wigs that literally was so hard to conceal, and this kind of gives me a great start. I'm still going to go in and have to either tint the lace or add powder to the parting. So when it comes to styling hair, what I've learned most is that product is your best friend. It's about knowing what product to use. In this case, I used a holding spray. This is actually Shapers, and I'll have it linked in the description box. And this kind of helps me to go ahead and get a good nice press on this area. An alternative, sometimes I'll use a wax stick. Sometimes I even use mousse. It literally is like whatever I feel at that moment or what I think is appropriate. Lately I've been into the Shapers. I use the Shapers on like the parting area, like I just used it right there, and it's going to help me to press out and flatten this area because I don't know if you guys can see that, but it went from looking like really thick to almost looking like it's growing out of my scalp now. Obviously the lace color is not my skin complexion, and that's what throws it off, but I do like to use a hot comb really to help to melt the lace and melt the parting to make it look as natural and realistic as possible. Now when people say, oh, it looks realistic, or you know, it looks so natural, I think that the general consensus is that when I say like, oh, my lace is melted, that, you know, we know it's a wig. Like anybody around me knows it's a wig, but it just looks like it's installed really nice. So at this point I've pretty much done the majority of the install. My I guess you can say my quick reviews, I do wish the root was a little bit dark, and this would help to make everything better, but I'm just going to do whatever I can to go in and tint the lace. Now here I am taking my foundation brush. I did not add I did not add any more foundation powder to the brush. Instead, I kind of just used the excess to go in and see if that would help to make the color of the lace blend with my skin. You can definitely still see the lace a whole lot, but I kind of feel like if I use any of my normal contour powders or other powders or anything like that, because the hair is blonde, it's going to come off orange, and that's not what we want. I would rather it be this color than to be, you know, orange. So here I am, and this here is like a cream product. This is listed in the description box, and I just took a really tiny eyeshadow brush, I believe, and I'm just stippling it in lightly. I'll show you in a second the comparison of what each side looks like with and without this product. So you guys see here, it's kind of white at the root, and where I added that product, it's more of a brown skin tone color. Again, it may not be 100% perfect, but it does help everything to look a lot better. So since I'm gonna do a half up half down, I went ahead and parted out the rest of my ponytail, and if you just look at that side, that right side, and just continue to compare it to the left side, I personally think it makes a huge difference. But you can kind of see that no matter what powder I use, if it's near my skin complexion on a blonde wig, the lace of a blonde wig, it always comes up orange for me. So I'm still on a hunt for a product that I can add. I do use a spray on lace tint as of late, but if I would have sprayed it on the root from the inside, it definitely would have transformed the root and possibly even the hair. So I personally think that if you want to go in with something that's a little bit more permanent, I would use like a hair dye or something like that. I've used the Adore dye in the root, and that's helped before in the past. And I've also purchased a product from Wella that is supposed to be like kind of like when you go in and like dye your roots, but you do it pretty much and stipple it into the lace section by section. So if you guys want to see me do that, I'll do that coming up soon, the next time I get a blonde wig. And I think that is ultimately the best idea because you don't have to continue to touch it up. It pretty much is, it's a semi-permanent solution, but if you're only wearing a wig for a couple of weeks or so, it definitely will, you know, last that amount of time. So here I am, I'm just taking a piece of the hair to go around that rubber band so that everything blends and looks flawless and seamless. I love to do a good high messy ponytail. It's definitely not perfect, but I find that when I try to make it perfect, sometimes I kind of just frustrate myself. So if it's like a bone straight look, I definitely would go in and make the ponytail super sleek, but in this case we're doing a nice fun messy look, so I think it looks good. And that here is my whoa, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this step-by-step tutorial. Be sure to like this video and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Smooches!